Hey everyone, this is Dr. Ann, and thanks so much for tuning in to the Fit Foodie Pharmacist Show, the place to be for real talk with real experts and real results, so you can heal yourself naturally. Now, if you haven't done so already, make sure you come check us out at drann.com, spelled A-N-H as in healthy, because there you can get your free gift, The Clean Eating Rules. It's my #1 guide for how to eat to lose weight, and it's everything I learned about how to eat to lose weight when I was training for my natural bodybuilding competition, and you get it for free at drann.com. Now today we are talking with Tom Corson-Knowles, who went from being a teenager who was sick all of the time, even though his parents were both medical doctors, to becoming a healthy and fit adult. And Tom and I, we've known each other for a few years now when we first met at some personal development seminars. He is a health coach and the founder of the Authentic Health Coaching Show, which is the #1 podcast on Podomatic. But with your support and ratings, I'm sure we can catch up to him. So in today's episode, Tom and I chat about the one change that he made that made the biggest difference in his health, and it's not diet or exercise. Western medicine, Eastern medicine, and the false dichotomy between the two of them. The 2 food groups that reduce your risk for disease more than any others. The 1 vitamin that is crucial to your health. And the 3 secrets to success when it comes to changing your habits, and much, much more. So let's go hang out with Tom. On to the show.
Hey, thanks so much, Anne, for having me. It's a pleasure to be here.
Yeah, I'm glad you could make it all the way from beautiful, sunny Hawaii.
Yeah, it is beautiful here. It's not so sunny today. It's been raining, but it's gorgeous for sure.
Well, hey, you're still in Hawaii, so you shouldn't, I'm still jealous.
I'm not complaining.
Exactly. So just so the audience gets to know you a little bit better, can you tell us a little bit about your story and, all the challenges, the health challenges that you overcame and where you are now?
Yeah, sure. So I'm 25 today, and I'm really healthy. I'm fit. I'm strong. I can't remember the last time I was sick, honestly. But it wasn't always that way. When I was a teenager, like 13 years old, I was sick all the time. I mean, I had acne. I had bronchitis, sinus infections, recurrent sinus infections. Every month I was on a different antibiotic, and I was on medication for the acne as well. And I had Osgood-Schlatters disease as well. And, it was like everything that could go wrong with my health seemed to be going wrong all at the same time. And my parents were both medical doctors, so obviously they were really concerned about me, and they took good care of me. But all the medications and all the antibiotics and all the care, it wasn't helping me get healthier. And my mom, was very forward-thinking as a doctor, and she really understood that, the medications, antibiotics, they're not going to help me get better. And so she started researching things about nutrition. She started researching all kinds of alternative therapies and things that she could do to help me get healthier. And long story short, she made me start eating healthier. I started taking this supplement, which is like fruits and vegetables and capsules. I started eating more fruits and vegetables. We started cutting out the junk food from my diet. And in a few months, everything cleared up. The acne went away. The bronchitis, the sinus infections went away. And I just became really healthy. I thrived. I started doing really good in sports because I didn't have those health challenges anymore. And so that's how, I got healthy. I got first got interested in health. And then when I was in college, I was blessed to have been healthy for several years now, and I had this healthy diet. And I remember, on the meal plan, I would just go and get a big salad bar at the dining hall in college, and all my classmates and everyone around me, they wouldn't go for the salad. They were going for the fried chicken and the pizza.
Chicken wings. Yeah.
All the chicken wings and the huge 64-ounce sodas and, cereal, and it was crazy. And, they were all breaking out with acne, and they were all coughing and sneezing and sick, and flu season came, and people, I had friends who dropped out of college because they got the flu during finals, twice in a row. And I was like, wow, this is crazy. Like, by then I'd been healthy for like 5-6 years, and I realized, like, wow, this was something really special. To not have to worry about getting sick, to know that I was healthy, to not have to get the flu or colds or not to be on medications. Like, I really realized how blessed I was then, because I saw all of my friends being sick around me, and I decided, I want to do something to help them. So I started telling them and just teaching people, anyone who would listen, like, hey, here's how you don't get sick. You eat fruits and vegetables; they'll help your immune system. And I was telling people about the supplements they could take and things that they could do to improve their health. And it felt good to me, but most people wouldn't listen to me.
Well, it's hard to be just eating fruits and vegetables all the time. I mean, they're not quite the tastiest thing in the world, you know?
It's true, and especially if if you're not used to it. It's like anything in life is difficult if you're not used to it. I mean, you talk to someone who runs marathons or ultramans or these ridiculous races that honestly I never really want to go do myself. But you talk to them and ask them how it is, and they're like, it's really not that hard. I mean, they're not going to tell you it's easy because that's not true. But when they've been training and when someone's done 50 marathons, it's no longer hard for them to do a marathon because they're used to it. They're just in that habit of competing at that level of athletics. And it's the same way with your diet or with any workout plan. Once you start eating 5 servings of fruits and vegetables a day, it's just your habit. It's like so easy to do. And in fact, it's harder not to do it because you're just so used to doing it. And I think that's really the key to better health, and is like, first of all, realizing, maybe where you have some shortcomings. Maybe you're not exercising enough. Maybe you're not eating enough fruits and vegetables. Whatever it is for you, I'm not going to tell you what you should be doing. But once you decide what's best for your health, then you got to decide, okay, well, what do I need to do to get that? And it's just making those simple changes and getting a little bit closer every day and getting a little bit closer to that goal. And that's how you develop those habits. And once you have the habits, it's so easy. The hard part is creating the habit. Once you get the habit, it's like life is just easy and your health just flows naturally.
Well, I get that because when I was eating healthy, I kind of fallen off the wagon and getting back on it right now. But when I was eating healthy, it was easy to pick fruits and vegetables, and they did taste wonderful, And then when I did eat something bad, junk food, I could tell right away because my body felt it. I was dizzy, I had a sugar high and then a sugar crash. I was cranky all the time when I ate bad food, so you can definitely tell a difference. But for our listeners here, if you could share with them one change that you made in your life that made the biggest difference for your health, what was it?
That's a great question. There's so many things. I mean, there's diet, eating more fruits and vegetables was big. Exercising was a really big challenge for me, and now that I'm doing it, I feel so much better. But if I really had to say like one tool or one strategy that really changed everything for me, it was like the habit of journaling and of reflecting.
I wouldn't have guessed that.
I used to think, I had these thoughts, that would come to my head, like I need to exercise more, or, I should try this new kind of health food or bread or something that someone told me about, And I used to think that those thoughts, I would just let them come and go, and I would totally forget, that idea of getting flaxseed oil or getting this supplement or getting that. And then when I started the habit of just writing down these ideas and these thoughts on a piece of paper, and not necessarily on my to-do list, but just writing them down, thinking about them and thinking, okay, could I do this? Could I go out and buy the supplement? Could I start walking a mile a day? Could I go and make a healthy smoothie, in the morning for breakfast instead of, junk food or something like that, or eating at McDonald's? And once I started writing down these thoughts and really just journaling and getting those on paper and thinking about it and focusing on those activities that I could do every day, the little tiny things that I could do every day to improve my health. Once I started doing that, and it was just so easy because I no longer had to worry about what I was going to do. See, so many people, they're out there and they're like, well, I know I'm overweight, but I don't know what to do. And the truth is, you probably do know what to do. I mean, you already know you could go for a walk. You already know you could go eat an apple or a banana or something like that, right? But the problem is that we don't stay focused. Like, we let the thought come and then we let the thought go. And we never give ourselves time to really reflect on that and to really let that sink into our mind, because the truth is that your health is determined not by your body, Anne, but it's determined by your mind. Your mind is going to determine what you put in your mouth and if you exercise and what you do for your health. It's all about your mind, and you've got to be able to have the self-discipline and the self-control over your thoughts and how you think to be able to turn your health around, to be able to change anything in your life. And I think that's the really big focus that I found was, once I started letting all those thoughts in my mind and reflecting on them, everything changed for me.
Wow, I'm glad you said that because, I think a lot of people, they think, oh, maybe if I start eating better or if I just start exercising, then things will be different. But you're right, it really does come down to the mind. And I mean, we have to have all three components, right? The mind, the meals, and the muscle or the fitness, but it all begins in the mind. And not just for, our fitness and our own health, but I think in all aspects of our life, if we want to succeed in business or professionally, it starts with a thought and then an action action that comes from that thought. So
Absolutely.
I wouldn't have guessed that you would have said that, but now that you said it, I agree with you.
Yeah.
Okay, so getting back to the fact that both of your parents were medical doctors, right? And obviously their son was ill and they wanted to find ways to help him get better. So what are some of the things that they learned in the process, and especially with respect to Western medicine, because we saw that it wasn't working, right? And how did they change the way they treated you or had you treat yourself that made a difference for you?
That's a great question. My parents, they are medical doctors, so they are very traditional in that sense. They were very well trained. Both of them went to Yale, about 40 years ago, and they're brilliant people. But when you're in medical school, you're kind of trained to think a certain way. You think drugs and surgery because that's what you're taught in medical school. And it's not a bad thing or a good thing or a right thing or a wrong thing. It's just the way it is. But they were also very open-minded. And so what we did in our family was, I continued taking antibiotics and I continued doing the traditional Western approach, but we also started changing my diet. And so we did both. It wasn't like one or the other. I think a lot of people, we had this kind of false dichotomy that, drugs are bad and, nutrition is good, or, drugs and surgery are good and nutrition's hokey, or, meditation and stress relief, it's not real, it doesn't really work, this works. And we tend to think that you can only do one or the other, but the truth is you can do anything, you can do everything. Everything has its place in the world. And, if I get in a car accident, please take me to the hospital. Don't give me some herb or root or smoothie. Like seriously.
Exactly. If you're having a heart attack, you need something to break up that clot. You're not gonna. You need a magic, herb to help you cure that. So.
Exactly. So everything has its place. And, whatever you're doing right now, if you're listening to this show, whatever you're doing is fine. Don't stop doing what you're doing. But I think just add in some more good stuff. Start to learn about nutrition. Start to learn about fitness. Start to learn about stress relief and meditation. Start to learn about some things that you can do to add to your life. And I think when you start adding in more of these good things, then all the bad stuff just falls away. Like with diet, we started adding more salads. It was like the simple thing that my mom did. She just started serving salads every day for us. And at first I didn't like salads, but you put enough dressing on there, and you put some avocado and something that you like on there, and you can eat the salad or the spinach greens or whatever, and after a while you get used to it, and the bad stuff falls out. I remember one day when I was about 14, I was addicted to Mountain Dew. I mean, I love Mountain Dew. Every day I would drink Mountain Dew. It was my favorite drink. And I remember one day I just opened it up and I put it in my mouth and I just spit it out everywhere, like all over the counter. Like it was disgusting. I just spit Mountain Dew all over because I couldn't stand it.
It was too sweet.
It's way too sweet, and it kind of burned my mouth a little bit. That acidic kind of burned my mouth, and I was just like, I just spit it out, and I was like, I'm done. Like I never want another soda pop again. And because my taste changed, and that's what happens when you start doing good things. Like I said, your habits change, your taste change, and it just becomes natural to live a healthier lifestyle.
Yeah, well, and you were talking about salad dressings. You eat your salad because it's good for you. You throw on tons of dressing because you're like, okay, it's going to make it taste better. And then eventually, like, I got to a point where I didn't even need salad dressing, and maybe just a little bit of, like, a fresh-made salsa was good enough, to make it taste good. And you're right, you find different ways to make it palatable for you.
Totally. It's about making those small changes, and then you just get in the habit of doing something totally differently, and then you look back and you don't even, like, if I look back on when I was 13 and what I was eating then and my health then, is like, I'm a totally different person. I'm not even the same person anymore, and if you look at your body, like your cells turn over every year. You're like, almost all your cells in your body turn over every year, and like your cells in your body now aren't even the same cells that were in your body a year ago. You're not even the same person. You're not even made of the same molecules anymore. Like, it's amazing, because of the things that you ate and the air that you breathed and the water that you drank have now been transmuted into this new body that you have. So every year we have a new body, and the decisions that you made in the last year, Ann, are what have created your body today. Whether it's healthy or not, whether you're sick or not, your decisions have made you who you are today, and we have that power to change our decisions today to change who we are in the future. And I think it's just amazing to me. I mean, I've seen people with cancer, heart disease, all kinds of health challenges, turn it around, and doctors will call these miraculous cures and whatever, but it's just amazing that to see the changes that can happen in a person's body. Like, I truly believe today that there's no condition that you cannot heal from.
Oh,
You know,
I absolutely agree with you. I mean, that's the whole foundation and basis of this show is, our bodies are built to heal from anything, and I believe, and as long as we give it the right nutrition, the right foundation, the right environment to heal itself, I think it can work miracles. And like you said, I've met people through the courses that we've taken together, who've healed their cancer, who've healed their lupus or multiple sclerosis, and these are diseases that in modern medicine sometimes we don't have cures for, and yet they've been able to live very healthy lives after making some changes. So it's amazing.
absolutely, definitely.
So, okay, going back to, you said something interesting where, it's not this black or white dichotomy where it's like, okay, it's just Western medicine or it's just nutrition or just yoga or meditation, but it's a blend, right? It's the holistic approach, the integrative approach. And because, I believe that with our bodies are laboratories, right? Dairy might, for example, I react to really poorly to dairy, but someone else might be fine with dairy, right? And so people who say dairy is bad and don't eat it, it's not the same for everybody. So we just have to experiment and journal, like you said, so we know how things work with us.
Mhm.
But can you give us specifics on what worked for you when you were healing yourself?
Sure, sure, certainly. So, fruits and vegetables are a big thing. And if you look at just the research, and there's over 8,000 studies showing that fruits and vegetables help reduce your risk for everything from cancer to heart disease to stroke to diabetes. I mean, literally every chronic disease that you can imagine, fruits and vegetables will either they reduce your risk for it or just improve your chance of a better outcome in the end. So, there's nothing in the world that has been shown to reduce your risk for disease as much as eating more fruits and vegetables. I mean, it's even more important, many studies have shown, than smoke, than whether or not you smoke. So, I mean, if you smoke and you eat 13 servings of fruits and vegetables a day, you're better off than someone who doesn't smoke and doesn't eat any fruits and vegetables, according to the research. So that's the most important thing, according to the research, that you can do for your health. And that's the thing that I've been focusing on for my health and with a lot of my clients. And that's the thing I recommend the most is like focus on getting more fruits and vegetables. And I know it sounds silly, like how can an apple or some spinach really, do that, make that big of a deal? But I mean, you look at like the studies on spinach and macular degeneration. Like half a cup of spinach once a week reduces your risk for macular degeneration by as much as 33% or to 60%, somewhere in that range. So like that's just a half a cup a week. I mean, half a cup of spinach is like 10 leaves of spinach. It's like nothing, but it's so powerful.
You measured it out.
I'm just
I'm just
trying to
kidding.
give like tell people like half a cup, how much is that? It's not
And
much.
it's really not that, yeah, it's not
You
that
can
big.
eat it in a mouthful, and the big, chew well and swallow, and you're good. It's once a week,
Mm.
right? So it's not that hard to eat fruits and vegetables, I think. But like I said, you got to start small and just get used to it. So that's the biggest thing that was for my health. There's other things that I do. Vitamin D is a big one that we've learned about recently in the last couple of years. There's a lot of new research on vitamin D. It's not actually a vitamin.
Mhm.
It's actually a steroid hormone, and it interacts with over 20% of your genes. And same thing with fruits and vegetables. It reduces your risk. The more vitamin D you have, the lower your risk for heart disease, cancer, stroke, diabetes, lupus, multiple sclerosis, all these other chronic diseases. So
It's
again,
crucial in your immune function, yeah.
totally, totally. So that's another thing that I do. If you go to vitamindcouncil.org, it's a really great website with all the new research on vitamin D. It's vitamindcouncil.org. But the researchers there recommend 4,000 to 6,000 IU's a day of vitamin D, and you can get that in
Okay.
a little gelatin capsule, or even in the liquid. You can put it in liquid form and just totally tasteless. You just put it in your water and drink it. And so that's what I do every day. If I'm not out in the sun, I'll take
Mhm.
some vitamin D. And then the other thing is omega-3 fats. I found
Yeah.
are really, really important. Omega-3 fats are basically essential fatty acids. There's omega-3 and omega-6, so the two kind of big groups that most people talk about. And the omega-6 fats are really inflammatory. They cause inflammation in the body. And that's actually normal. It's a normal immune response. So
Mhm.
we need that. The problem today is that researchers say the ratio should be a 1-to-1 of omega-3 to omega-6 fats in our diet, or as close as possible. But
Yep.
they've tested mother's breast milk and found that the ratio is closer to 1-to-45.
Yes.
So we're
Incredible,
just
isn't
so
it?
out of balance. Yeah, it's
Yeah.
just crazy how out of balance we are. And it's because the way that we farm, the
Mhm.
way that we raise livestock in America and across the world, factory farming, they're not eating grass, they're not free range, they're eating, corn or all kinds of other things. And so it's just we've kind of become removed from the natural state of the food chain. And when you do that, then the livestock, the animals, they've got all this omega-6 fats instead of the omega-3s, and all our food is processed. So omega-3 fats are very fragile. So if you heat them, if you cook them, if you fry them, it just kills them. Or it doesn't kill them, but it denatures them basically.
Mm-hmm.
And so then our body can't use them at all. It oxidizes them, and the body can't use them. So it's really important to get raw food that's full of omega-3 fats. So things like walnuts, hemp seeds, chia seeds, flax seeds. You can do flaxseed oil. A lot of people do fish oil, but I don't recommend it just because of the economic cost and the environmental cost of all the things that we're doing with the ocean. I mean, if you don't know about what's going on in the oceans, we've depleted most of the major fisheries in the world, and so I think focusing more on a plant-based diet is much better for the environment. But whatever you need to do to get more omega-3 fats in your diet, I think is really, really important as well.
Yeah, totally. I mean, I've had so many conversations with other pharmacists and other people who agree with you that vitamin D is essential to your health. Fish oil for sure, a good multivitamin and a good probiotic. Those are just the foundations of health. And it's just so funny that over and over again, regardless of who I talk to, that's what everyone says. That's what you need.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, it's really not that complicated.
Yeah.
I think we make things more complicated than they are because of imagined things. We think, well, if I got to go run a mile, like that's so hard, but then you get out there, you put your clothes on, and you just walk a mile. You don't have to run a mile right away. You can you build up to it. And maybe you don't have to get all those supplements that we talked about on the show today, but maybe you just go get some chia seeds and you start experimenting with those and you have fun with those and you move on to something else next time.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and looking at it as a sense of adventure, trying something new and enjoying the process, rather than something you have to do for your health,
Totally, that's so true. The one thing I've noticed with clients or people that come to hear me speak on nutrition, the ones when I talk about these things like chia seeds and flax seeds or flaxseed oil, whatever, and they get excited about it. You can tell the people who are actually going to go do it because they're excited. They're like, well, tell me where can I get them? What health food store? Tell me what website do I go to? And the ones who are like, well, can that really make a difference in my health? You can tell the ones who are really going to take it into action and get healthier, and the ones who aren't. And I don't know what happens. Some people are ready for change, and some people aren't. But if you're ready for change, you will find the right information, and you will have better health because you're going to go out there and make it happen.
Well said. So getting back to fruits and vegetables, right? You said that was one of the biggest factors for your success. How do you, and you recommended, 5 to 6 servings a day. How do you make it so that you do that on a regular basis and it's sustainable and that you enjoy it and it's not a chore? What are some of your tips?
Yeah. So it's actually 7 to 13 servings a day is what the USDA recommends.
Oh, okay.
And some researchers are actually thinking about raising it. So it's a lot, 7 to 13 servings a day. It should basically
When did they change that? Oh my gosh, I'm so out of the loop.
They changed it a couple of years ago. I think in 2008 or 2007, something like that.
Okay, we might have to edit this part out. I'm just kidding.
That's cool. But the point is we need a lot. We need a lot more. The average American eats 3 servings a day, and one of those is French fries. So there's this just huge gap.
That's not a vegetable, first of all.
Well, it is in schools according to the U.S. government. But
anyway. That's crazy.
Anyway, yeah, it's not what you need. You want fresh, raw, preferably organic fruits and vegetables. And so how do I get more in my diet? Well, there's all kinds of things that you can do. I mean, like I said, start small. Just pack a snack I think is the easiest thing. Like if you go to work in the day and you pack your own lunch, maybe you don't even pack your own lunch, maybe you eat out at lunch, but at least pack like an apple or a banana, as a snack. I mean, personally, I get hungry between like 8 a.m. when I have breakfast and like noon or 1 when I eat lunch. Like I'm hungry somewhere in between there, so I'm gonna eat an apple or a banana or some kind of fruit. Or
I'm
maybe
hungry 3 hours after I eat.
Yeah, right, me too, totally. I eat lots of small meals throughout the day. So, packing, just make it easy. The best tip I can give you on how to eat more fruits and vegetables is just prepare yourself. Mm-hmm. If you're going to be out all day from 8 a.m. until 8 at night, that's 12 hours a day. That's like your entire 2 or 3 meals in there in the day. So you have to prepare for that. It's like anything in life. If you want success, you have to prepare for it. You have to plan ahead. So, pack some fresh fruits and vegetables, pack some cut up cucumber or celery sticks or whatever you can do to just take that with you for the day in a little lunchbox. It doesn't have to be a meal, but at least if you get hungry throughout the day and you have to skip a meal or you don't have time, you can just snack on those fruits and vegetables, and that's a great way to do it for sure. The other thing that's really easy to do is just make a smoothie. A lot of people nowadays, a lot of times I'll just make a smoothie for breakfast, and I'll do some almond milk or hemp milk or something like that in there.
Mhm.
Some bananas, strawberries, blueberries, some kind of fruits. You can even throw a handful of kale or spinach in there, and like a protein shake or something like that. And you've got, not only do you have this great meal, but you've got like anywhere from like 2 to 8 servings of fruits and vegetables in there in one little smoothie. So I mean that can be half of your daily recommendations of fruits and vegetables for the day, just in one nice big smoothie in the morning. So there's lots of ways to do it. It's just what do you want to do? What's easy for you? What can you do?
Mhm.
If you like making smoothies, then just start making healthier smoothies. If you like packing your own lunch, then just start packing a little bit of a healthier lunch.
Yeah. Well, it's nice being a girl because you get this big purse. You can throw all your food in there, right? But I talked to Thomas Tadlock, which who a couple months ago, and he suggests like, okay, eat breakfast at home, and if you're going to be out and about, pack 3 meals with you, and then generally most people are going to be home by dinner. So that's kind of the formula that I follow, and as long as you going forward that you are going to have to pack 3 meals, especially if you're going to be out and about running errands or whatever, then you just plan for it the night before, and it just works out perfectly. Um,
Exactly. If you plan ahead, you can solve all your major problems. And I think most of the problems that people have with their health is just because you didn't plan ahead.
mhm.
You thought, well, I'll just stop running this week and it's not a big deal. I'll stop going to the
Just
gym
let
this week.
life happen to you, and then look what happens.
Exactly. And then you look back, 3 years have passed and you haven't been to the gym in 3 years. And I don't even go to the gym anymore. I've got a home gym. I just, it's just like a little thing on the wall and I do push-ups or sit-ups or whatever. And I'm done
Squats,
with it. But
burpees.
exactly, exactly. Burpees are fun. Yeah, totally. So, it's just planning ahead, doing a little bit of planning ahead, can just, it makes the world a difference. There's no secret solution. And all these people, I think, a lot of people, we think, if we see some book that says, 7 days you'll lose 70 pounds or something, or some infomercial that says we're going to lose all this weight overnight, we're going to get healthy overnight, but it doesn't happen overnight. Nothing good in life that's really worth having, no success really worth having happens overnight.
Mhm.
Everything takes work in life. But if you're willing to pay that price, it's not a huge price to pay for good health. I mean, like I would much rather be healthy and spend an hour a day maintaining my health than be sick and spend 16 hours a day worrying about my health.
Tom, you're preaching to the choir. So, okay, question. Now, what are your thoughts on um, the amount of fruits versus vegetables, right? Because, fruits, some people say have a lot of sugar, and then if you're doing juicing or smoothies and you're, using a lot of fruits, you're going to be using a lot of fructose and a lot of natural sugar, which isn't always good for fat burning and fat loss as well. So what are your thoughts on that?
So first of all, if you're eating a whole fruit, then there's no problem. I mean, you're not gonna get, no one got fat eating apples or oranges or strawberries or berries. You do not get fat eating whole fruit because it's got the fiber in there. And that fiber is gonna modulate your blood sugar. You're not gonna get a big blood sugar spike by eating whole fruits. Now, if you eat only whole fruits all day long, then yeah, you might because it's just all fruit, right? But if you have a big meal of oranges, you're not gonna get fat. Okay, that's not gonna happen. Now, juicing is a little bit different because when you do juice, you take out the fiber. So juicing is great for you, but juicing a lot of fruits, if you're doing it really often, that can definitely spike your blood sugar. So if you're juicing, just juice a lot more greens. Do things like cucumbers and celery and kale, and just do a lot of greens in your juice. And use fruit really sparingly in the juice. That's what I recommend. And then eat your fruit whole. So like if you really like fruit and you like juice, then make your green juice and then put your fruit in the blender or something like that, and that way you get a little bit of the sweetness, but you're not getting that really big sugar rush, because you still have some fiber in there.
Awesome. Okay, so now you said you worked with clients and you help them, achieve their health goals, but what are some of the biggest challenges that your clients have when they first meet with you?
hmm Well, it's really different for everyone, but I think that the biggest challenge people have is that they don't really know why they want to make a change. Like you can say, well, I want to lose 40 pounds and be at my ideal weight. Like that's okay, fine. Like what you want to do, but like why do you want that? Like you have to really understand why. Like I think there's 3 secrets to success when it comes to changing habits or getting anything you want in life. And the first one is you have to know why. Like you have to have this burning desire. Like people who turn their health around from incredibly sick to just vibrantly healthy, like like the 70-year-old women who like look like they're 30. Like something happens somewhere in their life and they decide, like, I've got to make big changes and I'm going to do it right now. It's because they know why. Like, I talk to a lot of people and they'll say, well, I want to be around for my kids. Okay, that's great. You want to be around for your kids, but that's really not specific enough either. It's like you got to really dig deep. Like, what emotionally is going to drive you and motivate you to do what it takes to change your life? And so I ask, okay, well, what about your kids? And some people say, I don't want my children to be overweight like I've been my whole life, and I don't want them to struggle with this challenge, and I want to inspire them. I want to be a good example for them. And if they start getting a tear in their eyes, if they start, really getting emotional about it, then I know we've hit their why. We've hit their core of what really motivates them. And when you hit that core and you can connect to that, then you're going to do whatever it takes. Because at the end of the day, obstacles are going to come up no matter what you do, Anne. If you say, oh, I want to eat 13 servings of fruits and vegetables a day, and right now you're eating 3, there's going to be some obstacles coming up there, right? Mm-hmm. And you've got to be willing to do whatever it takes to overcome those obstacles. And the only way that I know how to do that consistently is by having a why that really motivates me and that motivates you to do what it takes to get there. So you've got to really connect with that why. And like the journaling, like I said, is a great way to do it. Have a coach who will interview you and really grill you on why you really want this. Like what payoff are you going to get? To be there for your family, yeah, that's nice, but like, what really do you want to do? Do you want to leave a legacy for your family? Do you want to inspire your family? Do you want to watch your children get married and have grandchildren? Like, what is it that you want to live for? What do you want to turn your health around for? So that's the first major thing, is finding out why. Second thing, I think, is being willing to be coachable. I call it willing to be coachable. It's just willing to learn. You've got to be willing to say, okay, Tom, I don't know everything. And even I don't know everything about health. It's ridiculous to think that I know like 0.1% of like anything there is to know about health. Like, I know very little about it, honestly. Mm-hmm. But what I do know has helped me, and I know it can help you if you do it, right? So it's just about learning a little bit and being willing to learn and not being stuck to the old patterns and the old habits and the old ideas you have about what it takes to be healthy. A lot of us were raised to think, steak and potatoes is like what makes it healthy, but really it's a lot different than that. And so if you're willing to learn what it takes, then you're on the right path. And then the third thing is a willingness to do whatever it takes. You really got to be willing, like I said, to go through those obstacles, because when the obstacles come up, when, your friend has a birthday party and there's this big cake there and they say, you got to have some cake, yeah, it's embarrassing to say no, but you've got to realize that when you're saying no to the dessert or to whatever it is that's no longer, you're really saying yes to yourself. You're saying yes to your new goals. You're saying yes to that why that's really pushing. You're saying, yes, I want to be here 50 years from now to watch my grandchildren, get married or graduate from college or whatever it is that drives you. And when you're saying yes to yourself, it's like, it's no problem. Like, I don't care if I'm embarrassed at a party because I'm not going to eat cake. Like, whatever. Like, I've got bigger things I'm worried about than what other people think of me, if they make fun of me or, whatever. So I think those are the big threes. Again, it's, it's that knowing why you're doing what you're doing and really connecting deeply with that. It's the willingness to be coachable, the willingness to learn, to acknowledge that you don't know everything, and then the willingness to do whatever it takes to really go for what you really want in life.
Well said, Tom. Well said. So I know you got to run in just a sec, but before you leave, how can people get a hold of you if they want more information? Where can they find you?
Yeah, so the website is AuthenticHealthCoaching.com, AuthenticHealthCoaching.com, and there's a little form. Just put in your name and email there, and you'll get on the newsletter, and you'll have direct email access to me. So if you have any questions from the show or any questions, whatever, I'm happy to help out. I always answer my emails, and that's a great place. And then also we'll send you a free report of Dr. Corson's top 5 nutrition tips. It's some of the things we talk about in the show, like omega-3 fats and vitamin D and fruits and vegetables, and some more really cool tips to improve your health. And so that's where you can find me.
Awesome. AuthenticHealthCoaching.com. I'll make sure I link it up in the show notes. And thanks again, Tom, for your time. And I mean, you're living proof of, how it works. You commit to your lifestyle, you commit to your health, and now you're living a life that you love vibrantly, full of energy, and you're just enjoying it out in Hawaii. So what else can you, life is perfect, right?
Yeah, I'm really grateful. And I'm so glad I could be here to share with you, Anne. I'm so glad I met you and connected with you. And I'm glad, you started the show, because I know you can help just millions of people all over the world, inspire them to live a healthier life. So I really appreciate what you're doing.
Well, that's the goal. That's the goal. So thank you again, Tom, for everything. And I'm sure we'll chat again soon, okay?
Okay, sounds great. Thanks, Ann.
Yep, have a great night.
You too.
All
Bye-bye.
right. Awesome.
Hey, so I hope you enjoyed the show. That was Tom Corson-Knowles from the Authentic Health Coaching Show. And all the links and resources mentioned today are going to be linked up on the show notes at dran.com, spelled A-N-H as in healthy. Now, while you're there, remember to jump on the Fit Foodie Pharmacist VIP email list at dran.com/VIP. And you'll be the first to know when I post new recipes, episodes, programs, and events. And I'm actually currently working on my Fit Foodie Delicious Detox program. So it's a 24-day cleanse with healthy recipes that are delicious to help you drop weight naturally and easily. And you'll be the first to know if you're on the list. And also surprises and VIP only content, as well as insights and other things I only share with my email subscribers when you're on the list. So make sure you hop on. Now, we've got plenty of fun guests coming up, including Ari Meisel, who healed his Crohn's disease through diet and exercise, and Abel James from the wildly popular Fat Burning Man Show, just to name a few, so stay tuned. And thanks so much again for stopping by. I'm Dr. Ann, and until next time, have a fit and tasty day.
If you like this video, be sure to subscribe to this channel and share it with your friends, because we need more people to hear the food is medicine message. And make sure to head over to dran.com and sign up for free updates, because I share some insights in my email updates that I don't share anywhere else. And before you go, don't forget to leave a comment, because I absolutely love hearing from you.